Okay, so biomass. Not sure if you heard of biomass, but biomass is a good byproduct of you know of agriculture and and um, like when they log lumber and stuff like that, um, using all the sawdust, the waste, all that kind of stuff. They make this biomass, and this biomass is great for using for burning and for fuel, just for generating fuel, right? I'm going to read this article here. This is Global News. Again, I've got two articles so far from Canadian sources in my uh, my list today, which is more than usual. But this article wasn't bad. It's short, and I kind of wanted to get to the point here. So, what is biomass? The latest fuel source to get clean tech tax credits. So, Ottawa plans. Ottawa, if you are unsure, and you're my American friends watching, that's the capital city of Canada, of our little large state up here to the north of you. Ottawa plans on expanding its clean technology and electricity tax credits to include heat and electricity produced by burning biomass, as outlined in its fall economic statement. Biomass is a very broad term, but in this context, it primarily refers to pellets that are created by pressurizing leftover wood or agricultural materials from processing lumber or crops. The Canadian research chair on bioenergy out of the University of Saskatchewan said Canada is sitting on a gold mine in terms of biomass availability of products. Of course, because we're full of agriculture and we're doing a ton of processing of lumber and stuff up here, so we have tons of biomass. The amount of bioenergy that we produce in the country, I looked at the data, is about 7 terawatt hours compared to 1,000 terawatt hours worldwide coming from biomass. A very small fraction coming from the Canadian biomass. In 2018, Canada generated over 647 million terawatt hours worth of electricity. A terawatt is equivalent to 1 trillion watts. For a basic watt hour calculation, a 100-watt light bulb draws 100 watts of power at any given moment. So using it for 1 hour equals 100 watt hours of power used. The fall economic statement is proposing to expand eligibility to the 30% clean technology investment tax credit to include systems that produce electricity, heat, or both electricity and heat from waste biomass. Again, another great source if you're able to use it because it's already waste anyway, and you're able to use it to create energy. It's a win-win. Okay. It also proposes making the 15% clean energy or clean electricity investment tax credit available for systems that produce electricity or both electricity and heat from waste biomass, which would be available as of the date of budget 2024 for projects that did not begin construction before March 28th of 2023. Okay, this is more about the tax benefits. I don't think you're going to give it too much of a hoot about that, but biomass is a net zero energy source, and use of biomass certainly gives the opportunity for manufacturers to produce cleaner heat, cleaner power, and then also for communities to transition off of fossil fuels like diesel, particularly up in the north and around our mills, and be powered by a cleaner source of electricity. So again, this is great news. If I mean, and the problem, half the problem with that is you know, how well it burns comparatively to say diesel, right? So like, and then you know, if it's going to be as available, things like that. I don't know. That seems to be always the problem with these kinds of things. It's the availability of it, the ease of getting it, and such. So many lumber mills have their own power generation, which Johnson says has moved into cogeneration with biomass and coal or natural gas. He says this plan tax credit would help many generators shift to pure biomass. So yeah, if anything they can do to incent getting off the uh, you know fossil fuels and getting onto biomass, sure, that's going to be great. But again, let's not incent the crap out of it that it ends up. So the problem with these kinds of incentives for green energy initiatives is you create a whole other little subsector where uh, a certain select few are making a crazy amount of money on it, lobbying the government to push more of it, and then they push more nonsense things like in Canada we have all these carbon taxes. So all these carbon taxes, yeah, while it would in theory seem like they're helpful, they're doing is just taking money away from everyday consumers. So and putting money into all these companies that are producing some of these green initiatives like wind and solar and such that really aren't fully sustainable without the help of or without the help of fossil fuels. So it's a whole. it's a whole sorted thing to get into, but it's a nice move. I think, all these initiatives, if done well, are nice little ways to get out of burning as much fossil fuel. But the idea that we can ever, maybe in my lifetime, get completely away from fossil fuels, I think is a pipe dream, unless we maybe go to nuclear energy. But that's a whole other topic that I don't think most governments even want to broach on. So